All right. Welcome, everyone. I think I've got all my ducks in a row and we're presenting in all of the right places. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Erica. For those of you I haven't met yet, I am a life coach and owner of Rising Resilience Coaching. I help women to find happiness after divorce. Part of finding happiness after divorce is finding yourself after divorce and building a new identity and discovering who you really are. So that is what we are going to talk about today. Divorce can be one of the most challenging experiences that we face in life, but it also presents an opportunity for profound growth and transformation. Tonight, we're going to explore how you can navigate this transition with grace and resilience and emerge from it stronger and more empowered than ever before. So get comfortable, grab a pen and paper if you want to take notes. The recording of this will be available after the fact. And for those of you who registered, it will be emailed to you, and it is also being streamed on my personal Facebook page and hopefully some other places as we speak. All right. Are we ready? Let's do this. See if I can work it. All right. So if you guys would all stay on mute, that would be great. Go ahead and turn on your cameras if you're comfortable doing so. If not, that's totally fine too. And any questions or comments, feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm going to keep that closed until the end of each slide because I am like a squirrel and can't focus if I've got chats popping up in my face. So I will definitely look at that chat box after each slide if there's a little red notification for me. So I'm going to look right now. And Karen says, good evening, Karen. All right. So here we go. Who am I? Who are you after divorce? When we get divorced, we have often been in a relationship for a long period of time, 5 years, 10 years. Some of you were married for 20 or even 30 or 40 years. And when that happens, or when you've been married for that long, your identity grows around the other person. You are a wife, you are a mother, you are a stay-at-home mom or a career person. And when your marriage ends, oftentimes you lose a huge part of who you are or who you identify as. And it can leave us feeling lost. It can leave you feeling unfulfilled and shaken to your core and questioning yourself, your sense of self. But I want you to know that you are not defined by your past relationship, and you are a whole person without that other person that was in your relationship. And even, believe it or not, without your children. So often as mothers, we identify as our children's mother, and that becomes such a big part of our identity. And we go through divorce or our kids move out of the house, and it's like, what do I do now? Who am I now? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. And I just want you to remember that you are not defined by your past or your relationship status or another person. You are you, and you are whole and complete without anybody else. I want you to think of yourself as a diamond with many facets that make you uniquely you. Each facet represents a different aspect of your identity, your passions, your values, your strengths, and your dreams. I remember when I was going through my divorce, in my particular instance, I met my first husband when I was 20 years old, and I got divorced shortly before I turned 30. And I had done a lot of growing up in those 8 years. And I really didn't know who I was because I was a child when we met. And many of you have a similar experience where you met your husband in high school or in college, and you have become this adult with your life so intertwined with their life that it makes it very difficult to unintertwine. That's not a word, but to untangle your life from their life. Embracing change and transition. I just want to make sure that I'm not blocking anything. All right. So change is inevitable, especially after divorce. It's how we respond to that change that defines our journey. I want you to picture yourself as a caterpillar undergoing a metamorphosis into a butterfly. During this time of transformation, you may feel vulnerable. Just somebody. You may feel vulnerable and uncertain, but remember that change is a natural part of life. Just as the caterpillar embraces its journey to become a butterfly, so too can you embrace your own journey of self-discovery and growth. I often think of this metaphor, and I think it's because as a child, I read a book called Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. Look, I've been reading books and referring people to books for like a really long time now. See, it just doesn't stop. I try. I'm like, I'm not going to recommend a book. Anyway, Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus. It is a story of metamorphosis, and it is a story about a caterpillar who becomes a butterfly, and it's such a beautiful story. It's a really quick read, very 70s. My parents were hippies, but it was great. It's a great book. But something that I read recently talked about what actually happens during metamorphosis. So when a caterpillar goes into that cocoon, or chrysalis, I'm not sure, one's a moth and one's a butterfly. I'm not a biologist, guys, but when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, they are virtually liquefied before they turn into a butterfly. The caterpillar is utterly destroyed. If you were to poke a hole in a cocoon, and don't go do this, but if you were to poke a hole in a cocoon before the butterfly emerges, it would be liquid inside, which is just crazy. And the butterfly grows from that liquid. So in order to grow, the caterpillar has to be completely destroyed. And another thing that I find really interesting is that if you were to help that caterpillar or that butterfly out of that chrysalis or cocoon, it would not survive, because it is the struggle against that cocoon which helps to strengthen its wings so that it is able to fly. And when I heard that, between the liquefaction and the need to fight that struggle in order to survive, I just knew that I had to share it as part of this. So it was kind of mind-boggling for me. So reflecting on your identity. One of the most challenging aspects of divorce is letting go of the past and letting go of that person that you used to be. But holding on to the past only prevents us from moving forward and embracing the future. Think of it as decluttering your home or decluttering your soul. You need to make space for the new. And in order to make space for the new, you have to get rid of the old. So release those old patterns, those old beliefs, maybe even those old wants and likes and needs, so that you can embrace who you are meant to be and make room for that personal development. So I want to do a really brief exercise, really brief, I promise, where we talk about what our values are. So as human beings, we all operate under a different set of core values. So I'm going to flip here, and I want you to just write in the chat what your 3 top core values are. So your values are basically a compass that guide you through life's journey. So what are the things that really represent who you are as a person, what you believe, and what guides your actions and your behaviors? So go ahead and choose any 3 from this list or any other list, or, your brain, and tell me what your top 3 core values are. I think for myself, it is compassion, self-reliance, and love. I don't think love is not on this list, but love. So go ahead and drop those in the chat. Come on, people. Chat me up so I can read a few off. So Kim says loyalty, authenticity, trust, and love. Pearl is masquerading as me, and she says she is persistent, empowerment, and courage. Love it. Alrighty. So being aligned with your values, you can live authentically and with purpose, regardless of what has happened to you in the past, regardless of your relationship status. It will help you to live a life that is truly fulfilling for you. Karen says creativity, authenticity, and resilience. I love it. Resilience is our word. All right. So after divorce, it is so common to lose touch with the things that once brought you joy and fulfillment. But now is the perfect time to reconnect with your passions and explore new interests. You have the opportunity to have a totally clean slate. You can reinvent yourself or just discover what you truly like. I know for myself, when I was going through my divorce, I was very passive, and I am not that person anymore, but I enjoyed all the things that my ex-husband enjoyed. So I was a huge NASCAR fan. No, I was not. But so, we learn to like things that other people like. We learn to do things that other people enjoy doing, and we lose a lot of what we like. So I want you to think back to the activities that you enjoyed either before marriage or things that you enjoyed doing by yourself during your marriage. So whether it's painting, hiking, dancing, reading, Harry Potter movie marathons, what lights you up? What makes you feel alive? So go ahead and drop a few of those in, oh, sorry, Karen. Go ahead and drop a few of those in the chat. What is something that you used to do that you maybe don't do anymore that you loved or brought you joy? So go ahead and drop that in the chat if you would. I find that I just can't stop talking. So Karen, attending church. Yes, absolutely. Crafting, you just can't find the motivation to do it. So start small, Kim. A lot of times when we are like trying to get back to the old us, we try to do everything all at once. So find something simple that is not totally overwhelming that you can do while you're resting or not really doing much. Maybe it's coloring, maybe it's diamond painting, not something that takes a ton of effort or space or money. Just find something that you can do. Yes, I love it when you guys connect in the chat. See, this is why I can't keep the chat up, because while I'm talking, I'm like, what are they saying? So Chelsea, it's okay not to know. So, it's okay to explore different options. I talk with people a lot about this. They say, I feel like I need to do something, but I don't know what it is. There are Facebook groups. There are, Chelsea, you're a mom to a 5-year-old. So like maybe getting together with other mom groups or other LGBTQ people, or, whatever is peripheral to your life, you may find things within that environment that spark your interest. And I challenge everybody, we talked about this a little bit on the last webinar, to learn to say yes. So, sidebar, guys, I just can't do it without a tangent. I try, but I can't. So my middle son is 18. He's going to college next year. And we went to the University of Maine, which is where he is choosing to go. And, he was talking about how he regrets not doing more in high school. And I challenged him for this coming year, his freshman year, to say yes to every opportunity that comes his way. It is so easy for us to say no. And we say no to something now, and then we say no because we don't know anyone there, or we say no because it's uncomfortable, and our world keeps shrinking. And eventually you don't know who you are, what you like, and it's just like you and your phone, or you and Netflix, or whatever. And it's really hard to break that cycle once it happens. And college, not divorce, but what happened to me in college was I was too scared to get out there and meet new people. I didn't like talking to strangers, which is ironic because it's like all I do now. But I hid in my dorm room. I, got carry out food at the dorms, or the mess hall, what do you call it, dining hall. And I just wasn't a person who explored things. So, that was a big transition in my life, and this is a big transition in your life. So I challenge you to say yes. Say yes to whatever you can say yes to. If somebody says, hey, do you want to go to church with me? Sure, I do, even if you don't. But make that commitment to somebody, or, get out and I was just talking with somebody who wants to be social but doesn't want to talk to strangers. Guys, there are silent book clubs. If you're a reader and an introvert, but you kind of want to get out and like see other people and like do something, silent book clubs. There is an app called Meetup. There are Facebook groups. There are all kinds of different things. And I have gone on a huge tangent here, but just say yes. Say yes to opportunities. If people invite you out, say yes. If you see something that looks interesting, say yes. That is something that I have been practicing in my life, and it has paid out in dividends. So yeah, take a chance. I also have trouble saying no, and we talked about this on our last webinar, Karen. You have to say no to the things that no longer serve you, and you have to say yes to the things that will make you grow. Do you want to go out to dinner? Yes, I do. Do you want to go to church with me? Yes, I do. Say yes to opportunities and say no to things that cost you your peace. Okay. Can I get a volunteer? I promise it's not that scary. Anybody? Karen? You got a heart up. All right, anybody who wants to be my volunteer, go ahead and take yourself off mute. And if you're comfortable with it, turn your camera on. Don't make me talk to myself. I knew you'd be there for me, Karen.
Had to figure out how to turn it on.
So we are going to do an activity right now that is really, really simple, but really, really powerful. So this doesn't really fit anywhere in my slides, so I'm just throwing it in here. So I recently went to a seminar in San Diego, and one of the things that we did as a group, it was a coaching seminar, we did as a group was we talked to a random stranger, and we had to ask one question over and over and over again. And the only rules are you can't repeat your answer, and you have to be honest. So you can't make anything up. Okay, so the question is, who are you? So thank you so much, Karen, for me volunteering you to do this. What we're gonna do is I'm going to ask you, and I'm gonna get my little timer here because otherwise I will go too fast, go too far. Okay, so I am going to ask you, who are you? And I'm just going to keep saying, who are you? So every time I ask you, I need a different answer.
Oh.
Okay. So you can say, I'm Karen, I'm Karen, I'm Karen.
Oh, okay.
So I want you to tell me who you are. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
That's what I get for saying yes.
I know. See?
I should have said no this time.
This is a safe space. All right. Karen, who are you?
I'm the nice Karen.
Who are you?
I'm okay with being on my own.
Who are you?
It's a good question. I am single.
Who are you?
I am a travel agent.
Who are you?
I am creative.
Who are you?
I am a natural blonde.
Who are you?
Where that came from. I am 57.
Who are you?
I am brave.
Yes, you are. Who are you?
I am me.
Who are you?
I'm a child of God.
Who are you?
I am my mother's daughter.
Who are you?
Apparently, I'm my father's daughter too. I have a lot of these traits as well.
All right. And one more. Who are you?
Happy to be finished with these questions.
So it's thank you so much, Karen. You can
You're welcome.
go back to your
I can go back in my hole.
going back to your nameplate. So thank you again, Karen. That was awesome. So you can see how asking ourselves the same question helps to pull out the essence of who we are. We start with very superficial answers, you know, I am Karen. And then we get to the deeper essence of who we are. I am brave. My dog is knocking things over. I am brave. You are also strong. You are also doing such a great job with this. So, you know, I think it's such a great experiment. You can just do 5 who are yous. You can also do what are you afraid of? You can also do, you know, what are you amazing at? You can do this exercise with so many different options, and it can be really telling. And you know, we did it at my seminar with like 5 different questions, and we switched partners each time, and it was just like so powerful. So thank you again, Karen, for participating in that. My dog is currently chasing her tail behind me, so I'm sorry about that. All right. So we're on to the next slide. Cultivating self-compassion. This is something that we talk about often. I think it has been featured in every single webinar that I have done. It is so important to practice self-compassion and kindness. I gotta do something about this dog. Practicing self-compassion and kindness. And what that means is accepting that you are human. It is okay to be sad. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be afraid of the future. It is okay to feel the things that you're feeling. It's okay to not really feel like doing anything. And, you know, being able to accept that you are human and that, you know, maybe you made a few mistakes, or maybe this isn't how you planned it to turn out, will make things so much easier for you. So stop beating yourself up and give yourself some peace, give yourself some grace, and nurture a positive relationship with yourself. Alrighty, building a supportive community. So during times of transition, it is essential to support yourself with support, surround yourself with supportive and uplifting people, especially people who understand what you're going through. Oftentimes when we are going through a divorce or a breakup or a hard time in our lives, the time it takes us to recover it feels like a long time to other people. So you may say, well, I've got good friends and I've got good family, but when you eventually you feel like you can't go to them anymore, like you've burnt out that support system. So it's so important. And if your support system is like super and wonderful and supportive, I am so happy for you. But it is so important for us to grow a support system, to build a support system that is a safety net that will catch you when you fall and it lifts you up when you're feeling down. So whether it is a support group like our Facebook community, and if you're not part of that, maybe Pearl, could you drop the link for the Rising Resilience group in the chat? But if you guys are not a part of that, you know, please join us. We often have free support groups. I haven't been as good with that as I should be, but we have free support groups. It is a community of people who are experiencing very similar things to what you are experiencing. So whether it is friends or family or fellow divorcees or a coach, seek people out who uplift you and inspire you on your journey and will provide you with the emotional support that you need. That is tough, Karen. And I think in the South too, that's something, right? So Karen is saying in the chat that she struggles with that because her generation was taught to say that saying good things about yourself was conceited, arrogant, and narcissistic. But you have to love yourself first. You don't have to love yourself most, but you have to love yourself first. And it is okay for us to understand and accept that we are beautiful, wonderful people. We are all, we are all human and we are all flawed, but, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. No matter what your belief system is, we are all worth so much more than we give ourselves credit for. Yes, Kim, and that's exactly what's hard. Whether you are a caregiver and then you're a wife and then you're a mother, and now all of a sudden it's you. You are the center of your universe. And it's a wonderful but scary thing. So I am so glad that you are here. And I know it's a journey. It's not always easy. It is, it's not linear. Healing is not linear. So it's, baby steps. Find one thing that makes you happy. And I think that's our next slide. It is indeed. So setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. All right, it is important to establish healthy boundaries to protect your well-being. And this is not necessarily boundaries that you impose on somebody else when you say, please don't do that, I don't like that. It's also a boundary that you place on yourself. I am no longer going to accept that kind of behavior. But it's also important that you prioritize self-care, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And I know that people say, yes, you can, mothers do it all the time, but eventually that cup will crack. And you will not be able to take care of the people that you need to take care of if you don't take care of you first. Self-care is not selfish. It is essential, especially during times of transitions and change. Your well-being requires nurturing and care in order to thrive. So think about the things that nourish your mind, your body, your soul, whether it be meditation or exercise, spending time in nature, crafting. Make your self-care a priority in your daily life and watch as it transforms your journey of self-discovery. So I'm going to have you guys drop in the chat, what is something that you like to do for self-care? For some people, it will be going on a walk, going to church, taking a long hot shower, taking a bath, painting your toenails, doing a face mask. So go ahead and drop something in the comments that you do to take care of you. Watching the sunrise and sunset, yes. I love that. I make it a point. Whenever I travel, especially, I like to check off that I've seen the sunset over the Pacific Ocean, or seen the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean, or over the Rocky Mountains, whatever. So I love that. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share that they do? I love to walk the beach and look for sea glass and shark's teeth. That sounds amazing, Kim. Do you live near the beach where you can do that regularly? Sometimes it's just for me, I'm pretty busy, but taking a moment, especially when it's nice out, and just sitting outside in the sun for a minute and just breathing in the fresh air, or petting my dogs, snuggling with my dogs, drinking tea in the early morning in the quiet. Oh, Kim, yes, that's what you can do to take care of you. Go to the beach, comb the beach for shark's teeth and sea glass. That's amazing. Super jealous also. All right, guys, keep dropping things in the chat. I'm going to move on to our next slide. We are getting close to time. So, all right, so celebrating your growth and progress. One thing that we often do is we forget to set goals. Goals are so important to really being able to identify what or our progress. I don't know why that was so hard for me to spit out. Goals are like dreams with deadlines. They give us a direction and a purpose in life. But setting goals is just the first step. It's taking action that brings them to life. And sometimes, especially when you're going through something difficult, it's hard to see the small progress. It's hard to see how you're improving day to day. So you need to look back and reflect on where you were. In my other life, as a physical therapist, I often work with people who are very sick or very impaired. And they always say, I don't feel like I'm getting better. And what I always say to them is, maybe you're not better than yesterday, but look at where you were a month ago. Look at where you were 2 months ago. And it's huge. It's a huge difference. And the same thing goes for emotional healing. Maybe you feel like you're not getting better or it's taking forever, but look at where you were a month ago, or 2 months ago, or 6 months ago. You are making progress. But having a goal, something written down on paper, will help you get there faster. So think about the life that you want to create for yourself after divorce. If you're in the thick of it, think of what you want to do when this is all over. If you're already on the other side of it, what now? So what does it look like for you to have that dream life? And forget about the obstacles. Forget about money limitations or travel limitations or whatever. What is your ideal life? And how can you get there? What steps can you take today to move yourself closer to your vision? By setting realistic and achievable goals and taking consistent action, you can create the life of your dreams, and you can achieve things that you never imagined were possible. How long does it take? It's different for everyone, Kim. Healing is not linear. It is complicated, and it's different for everyone. Everyone's story is a little different. Everybody's trauma is different. So it depends. I know that's not the answer that you want, but it depends. So as we come to the end of our journey together, I want to leave you with this thought. Your journey of self-discovery begins now. You have the power to create the life of your dreams, and I'll be here to support you and guide you every step of the way. If we have not had a free 30-minute coaching call yet, go ahead and either send me a direct message on Facebook or send a message to Angelique, and she will get you booked in as soon as possible. And I thank you all for coming today. Does anyone have any questions or anything else? Anything they'd like to add? You can take yourself off mute if you would like to. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for being my guinea pig. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Good night.
Good night. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and end the meeting.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye, guys.
Oops.
Maybe.
Kim has a question.
Oh, who has a question?
Kim Minyard.
Oh,
She has a question in the
a journal
chat
or something to
chat box.
help with self-discovery. Let me see. One moment, please. So there is, oh, my thing is gonna blur this. This is a self-love. Let me see if I can turn my background blur off. Okay. This is a workbook for women. It's called the Self-Love Workbook for Women. Release self-doubt, build self-compassion, and embrace who you are. I have not done the entire thing, but it's pretty beautiful. It's well put together. There are a lot of different exercises that you can do. There's a lot of like reading in between the exercises. So it says embark on a journey of self-love, a powerful workbook for women. So I would probably recommend that one to start with. I think another, if you're a reader, I think a great book for this is Worthy. Let me, I keep my books behind my computer, so if I knock it over, I'm sorry. This one is by Jamie Kern Lima. She's the founder of It Cosmetics. And it basically talks about how, you know, as Karen mentioned earlier, how we are, you know, as women, and especially in her generation, we were taught to, you know, not be proud of ourselves and not, you know, speak out about our strengths, because it seems conceited or arrogant or whatever. But this book talks about the importance of feeling worthy, and gives you some exercises that you can do to do that. So I highly recommend this book. I really enjoyed it. I'm not usually a jump on the bandwagon kind of person. Like, I inherently don't like things that everybody is recommending. But I saw this, people are posting it all over Facebook, gifting it to friends. I think it's really cute because in the back of the book, she has like an old school library card, and her intention is for you to take the book, read the book, and give the book to a friend, and just passing it along. So those would be my two recommendations. I have read all of this. I have not read all of the self-love book, but it got good reviews.
Right. Thank you
Anybody-
so much.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, guys. If I can figure out how to work Zoom, I'm going to end the meeting. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.